What is up, everybody? I'm excited to be here doing this DraftKings Millionaire Draft this morning. I hope everyone's enjoying their holiday weekend, getting their drafts in, sitting by the sun, depending on where you are, with some fire air going on. It's a crazy week, but let's get it.
Three, two, one, liftoff.
What's up, Cobra Kai? What's up, O Genius? Nice. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We are getting ready to draft. Hope you guys are getting your drafts in. I've started really firing a little bit heavy, mostly because I'm leaving this week. So I'm not going to be able to draft too much this week, debating on what I want to do for drafts to register some slows before I go to Las Vegas. I was going to do like 5 or 6 BBMs, but now I think I might be doing one of the $100 ones on Underdog with like maybe 2 BBMs. I don't know yet. I'm still working through that, trying to get everything together before I leave. So hopefully you guys are getting your drafts in, or you're waiting, whatever your strategy is, to each their own. For sure, I obviously have to fire drafts consistently as much as I can anyways. So we are going to be jumping into the $10 DraftKings tournament this morning, which I am in the 60s for. I've done about 60 something drafts on this. I don't remember exactly what my number is at the moment, but we've gotten quite a few of these in. I just hit 50 BBMs the other night. So we're getting our stuff in. We're trying to make sure that we get our drafts in before the season begins. Cobra Kai has gotten 56 done so far. I'm foregoing some of the other stuff that's been coming out personally. I think they're great contests. The Chihuahuas that Underdogs come out with are like really well structured contests, but I bypassed those so that I could get some more volume on some of the other stuff that I want to make sure I get in, such as this $10, such as the BBM tournament, and I want to do some of the higher stakes stuff as well. So I think those are great tournaments. I think you should be firing them if you want to, but I'm just trying to allocate my Best Ball Mania funds to certain places. So I decided to skip this round of Chihuahuas. Maybe if it comes back, maybe we do a couple, maybe we fire it. But for now, I am bypassing it. And I'm definitely bypassing the Superflex. All right, so we are full. Let's see what we get. Just never. We just never, ever. I mean, it's comical at this point that our drafts all start from the back end, just every single freaking time. Is what it is. Is what it is. We will deal. We will endure. I will be transparent though. I have off stream. I don't get 102s. Out of my 50 BBM drafts, I have 18% Justin Jefferson. So I've gotten out of 50 drafts, I've gotten the 101 9 times. So I will be transparent. I have crushed 101s, but our Jamar Chase exposure across all tournaments is not what I want it to be perfectly frank. Here's our fun question while we wait another minute for this tournament to start. What are you guys doing with the 101 in the daily contest on Underdog? Are you still going Justin Jefferson, or do you think that it's a spot where you can actually take Chase over Jefferson if you think he has a better single game output? Right? So like he has the chance of being the number 1 wide receiver on more weeks, if you think that. I'm not saying you do or don't, but something I was looking at the other day. The daily contest is a lot of fun. I think I'm going to be limiting the amount of those that I do as well, though. I'm probably only doing between 5 and 10 of those, and I'm going to probably be spreading out when I do those. But Another really fun tournament. Josh has gotten 120 of these in already. And he believes that Chase is the guy week 17. Totally viable. Trust me, we are not happy with our Chase exposure. 120 is pretty good. Getting those in, waiting till August, also disciplined. Nice to do that as well. Let's pull this draft board up now that we're started. We see Jefferson, then Cup go at the 102. And we don't have the 103. So we are not going to be getting Jamar Chase at the 103 unless everybody in this draft wants to be like super duper kind. Oh, McCaffrey goes 103. You guys, come on. So Chase does go at the 104. Our dream was short lived. Our dream of getting him at the 104, I mean, at the 111, very, very short lived. Let's start firing some music as well. Let's try that level. All right, so after Chase, we do see Hill, Kelsey, Eckler go. So relatively standard so far. AJ Brown, I'm going to guess. I'm going to put it out there. Oh, Bijan goes. Stephon Diggs is probably going to go here. And then we have decisions to make. Decisions. Do you see Diggs go? So we're looking at like Lamb, Amon-Ra, Devontae Adams. Let's do this. I want to grab Garrett Wilson right here. So we're going to draft Garrett Wilson. And the reason I wanted to do that is because I wanted to do a Garrett Wilson, Nick Chubb, just to make sure I have that combo at least once in this tournament. So we'll do the week 17. Nick Chubb, Garrett Wilson. Sure, it's relatively common, but I still want it at least once, to be honest. All right, catch you later, Josh. What's going on, Sammy? I am using the Spike Week extension, which has a ton of different settings. You can do all sorts of things. So mine right now, unfortunately, the little bubbles don't pop up because of StreamYard, but my first percentage is the tourney percentage. And then I do my combo with my round 1, 2, and 3 draft picks. So if you look at Chris Olave on the board right now, you can see that my second pick was Nick Chubb. You can see that I have taken him 33% of the time. I've taken Olave. I've taken him with Chubb. 67% of the time I've taken him with T. Higgins, or T. Higgins with Nick Chubb when I've gotten T. Higgins, right? So that's what you can look at. And then like you see Stevenson, 50% of my exposure with Garrett Wilson. So there's so many different settings you can do, and I'm going to mess around and change these around and stuff. But it also shows you your week 16, 17, 15 correlation. As you can see, Breece Hall is lighting up because he correlates. So yeah, the Spike Week extension does a ton of different things. You can customize it to what you want to do. Terrence says, is there anything more disruptive to best ball portfolio performance than what happens with Cup? Yeah, I mean, I think that is valid, especially the way Cup is sliding up and down the boards. Totally one of the guys that is introducing a wide range of outcomes and a wide range of outcomes on your portfolio based on where he gets drafted. So totally. What's going on, Jake? Anybody got any good plans for the weekend? Are you doing anything for the 4th? Are you just kind of hanging in, relaxing? What do you guys got going on? Would you see all three elite QBs go? I am seeing the Mahomes Kelsey stack. Like, it was already happening, but now it, like, almost every draft I'm in, if I don't take Mahomes somewhere, Kelsey Mahomes is and on both sites too. Pat is asking if the fall of Taylor is a bit much. I mean, maybe a little bit much, but depends where you rank him, because I like McCaffrey over him. I like Eckler over him. I like Bijan over him. I like Nick Chubb over him. And I like Tony Pollard over him. I don't think I would draft Barkley over Jonathan Taylor unless there was like a very specific reason for it. But like fall to the end of the second, maybe he should be like a few picks earlier. I don't think it's egregious. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Have you done a hot dog eating contest, Southern Dandy? Southern Dandy says they are in a hot dog eating contest. Is this your first time? Because boy, do I have news for you. The news is it's a bad idea. It's the worst thing you can do. That is not a lie. It is the worst thing you can do. We did one last year on stream, and it took about 7 or 8 months before I could even try to have another hot dog. So that was awful. All right, we are on the clock. We do see Andrews falling. I only have 2% Andrews. All right, let's do this. Let's take Mark Andrews because we just don't have a lot of him. I'll grab the tight end. I think we can recover at wideout in this tournament specifically. What do I want to do here? I'm going to grab Judy. I'm going to try to set something up for later, maybe. All right, so right now we have Nick Chubb, Garrett Wilson, Jerry Jeudy, Mark Andrews. So what I was thinking about there, something I was looking at earlier today, I was kind of checking my exposures for players. And I think the easiest quarterback to go underweight on in all contests right now is Joe Burrow. Because our mindset is basically, I mean, I'm assuming most of the people in the chat, I'm not saying everybody, but I think people that are consuming best ball content, our mindset is if we don't have Jamar Chase, if we don't have T. Higgins, then we're theoretically usually not drafting Joe Burrow. So our ownership by that logic gets suppressed more than we would probably want it to be. So I'm currently starting to think about, do I want to take Joe Burrow unstacked occasionally and start to fire him with some of these, like, you know, we could have done if we really wanted to, we could have instead of taken Mark Andrews, we could have taken Joe Burrow and then taken Joe Mixon right here, maybe grabbed Irv Smith later. We also have Tyler Boyd available. We could bypass taking Joe Mixon and try to get some more of these ancillary pieces around Burrow. Do we want to do it often? Probably not. I would assume not. But do we want to mix some of that in? Probably. So I think that's something I'm going to start considering with Burrow. And that might be more of a, like, if he's falling. But on the flip side, if we take him at the 111 here at like the 402, right? We're flipping the board on Burrow because he's usually going to be going somewhere around this range where we see him go with T. Higgins to Snake Wells here at the 104 spot. The other place he would have gone is, I'm sorry, the 105 spot. The other place he would have gone is with Chase, but as we know, Chase is usually the second pick, so usually it's this top part of the board. So your Burrow team then becomes a bit more unique if we're usually allowing him to fall on this side of the board and you're grabbing Burrow with this group of players that usually goes here. So that's a thought process I'm doing right now. I might draft a couple Joe Burrow teams on each site when I get these back ends here and start getting some like different ownership levels with Burrow, because I think I'm at like 4%, and it's not even a plan for me to be underweight on Joe Burrow. If you want to be completely transparent, I don't usually do NFL future bets, but I think I want to take a stab at betting Joe Burrow for MVP this season. I think that the Bengals are just going to absolutely go for it this year. Obviously they're going to try to win, but I think they are going to try to like demolish teams and get Joe Burrow the MVP before they start having to pay him and Jamar Chase. So let's see what his MVP odds are. Pull that up. Plus 650 right now. Tied with Patrick Mahomes, according to Sharp Football Analysis. So we are on the clock. Let's go ahead and see what's here. The gross part of the draft. We don't love this part of the draft. Let's grab Ayuk. And where are we going to go next? Totally understand this point as well, Terrence, but let's go ahead and grab Deontay Johnson on this team. I do like him a lot on DraftKings. So right now the team is Garrett Wilson, Nick Chubb, Mark Andrews, Jerry Jeudy, Brandon Ayuk, Deontay Johnson. Herbert going in the 4th round on this is eye-opening. You guys been noticing him get steamed up boards a little bit? Maybe we should have gotten our Herbert exposure early. Is that what I've been hearing a lot of hype on him from multiple outlets the last couple weeks, so I'm not shocked he's starting to get hyped up boards a little bit. I do understand the whole his coach is conservative and everything, but I do think that you're going to see Joe Burrow win the MVP this year. Like, this is his year to do it if he's going to do it, to be perfectly honest. Ooh, Snake going with a Burrow Fields build here. I like it. I like it. Double Elite QB. I posted a double elite QB team in the draft review section of the Spike Week Discord. If you want to go take a look at that, it was for Best Ball Mania. I really, really like the way that team turned out. Terrence is saying that Herbert is this year's Josh Jacobs. The problem with that comparison is Herbert is already getting hyped up and it's only July 2nd. So Herbert is starting to get hyped up. If you're talking about like in terms of production, yes, that I see, where he comes back and he just absolutely crushes, throws for 5,000 yards, totally viable. Kellen Moore seems like he wants to really go wheels up with that offense based on coach speak and all that stuff. Maybe they take Kellen Moore's training wheels off as well and just kind of let him do what he wants to do. So that might be a thing. I have a feeling this is not going to be one of my favorite teams that I've drafted, but that's fine. It's going to be a more unique set of players than I normally take, so that's what we're looking at. Southern Dandy asking, how can Herbert get much higher, though? Kind of crazy to take him before Burrow, Lamar, or Fields. I think it's going to be easy for people to take him before Fields if they want to. I also think he could slide up in front of Burrow based on the fact that people are going to be looking at getting, it's going to be a little bit easier to stack Herbert than it is Joe Burrow. I still think people would prefer Burrow, but just the way drafts are laying out, they might take Herbert first and try to get, because he has quite a few stacking partners, right? You can take Keenan Allen, you can take Mike Williams, you can still get Herbert before Joe Burrow, and then you also have like Quentin Johnson, Gerald Everett. Obviously, Eckler is a first rounder, but there's so many different ways to stack Herbert, and Burrow still has that very particular problem we were talking about earlier. So that's something to keep in mind. So I'm not saying he's going to go ahead of Joe Burrow. I'm just saying, like, you will see him go ahead of Burrow in certain drafts, and there is a chance he does pass him, like in ADP, because of all those reasons. I don't know if that will happen, but you'll definitely see him go sometimes. All right, let's just keep piling Wilds, probably. So if we want Watson, we got to take him now. Let's grab Watson. The 12 hole had Amari Cooper. They had no quarterback, so they were probably going to grab Deshaun Watson if it was their pick. So I figured this was the time. If we wanted Deshaun Watson, we were going to have to grab him right now. The other pick was going to be Gabe Davis, who does still fall to us. Now I'm questioning if I want to grab David Montgomery, who I have 6% ownership of. That might be something that we do here. Let's grab Gabe Davis. Let's get another wide out. So the team right now is Deshaun Watson, Nick Chubb, Garrett Wilson, Jerry Jeudy, Brandon Ayuk, Mark Andrews, Deontay Johnson, Gabe Davis. Let's get back on this draft board. Our 2 RBs mandatory for underdog. I may have misdrafted some of my first few builds. Are you saying, like, in terms of weekly, are you looking for like the weekly roster you have to set up? You have to have 2 running backs in your roster. What else do we have here? Here's a question. Where are you guys cutting off 2 quarterback builds? Are you still doing just 2 QBs if it's Deshaun Watson? Is Tua the 3 QB build cut off for you? That's kind of what's going on with this team? Why didn't you take Tua? Interesting. Not really sure what's going on with that one. Let's look through some teams. So So we see the 12 team. They go with the CD, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Week 17 correlation, which is fun. But again, just like this Garrett Wilson, Nick Chubb correlation we did, probably done a lot. This is probably done more than any other one. Grabs Amari Cooper, grabs Gibbs to go with Amon-Ra, has TJ Hawkinson, Kadarius Toney, Rashad White, Elijah Moore. So he grabs two of the Cleveland wide receivers, but we actually sniped Deshaun Watson. This looks like Anthony Richardson is Southern Dandies. Are you saying that that's where you start 3 QB builds, or that's your last 2 QB? Sorry, I didn't specify the question as clearly as I could have. All right. I wish that this freaking Kamara news would break already. I just would really like to to know what we're doing with that entire backfield. I mean, I'm grabbing a lot of Williams and a lot of Kendre Miller for now. But can we just figure out this Kamara thing? Like, let's just figure it the F out at this point. That would be nice. That would be nice. Njoku was a place I would like to have gone with this next pick. That is okay. We will survive. We will endure. All right, I think we are going to start by grabbing Zach Charbonnet for this Pittsburgh bring back, Week 17. We need another running back anyways. So let's do that. See Cousins and Jared Goff, the 12-hole double taps QB. Jets, we have receiver. I like Dylan more, but Brian Robinson really does make sense for this team. So we will grab Brian Robinson. And right now we have Garrett Wilson, Nick Chubb, Mark Andrews, Jerry Jeudy, Brandon Ayuk, Deontay Johnson, Deshaun Watson, Gabe Davis, Zach Charbonnet, Brian Robinson, or a 1-3-5-1 build currently. Let's look around here. Let's see what this CMC team's doing. So CMC team starts at the 103. They go Christian McCaffrey, Josh Allen, Josh Jacobs, George Kittle, Drake London, Michael Pittman, Damian Pierce, Michael Thomas, Odell Beckham Jr. 2 risky picks back-to-back for the wide receiver situation. It's pretty interesting build currently. Obviously, Josh Allen, you don't have to worry about stacking right away because if you don't have Diggs, Gabe Davis is a little tougher to get. Everyone else goes late, so they can figure that out from there as much as they want. See a wide receiver run go here. With Jacoby Myers, Sky Moore, Rondell Moore, Alan Lazard, Tyler Boyd, Jameson Williams. Right after we took Brian Robinson. Jaylen Warren going in the 10th round now. He is he's getting steamed up there, huh? Did the 12 spot reach on Elijah Moore, or is that where he's going? He might have reached a little bit, but he's generally going a little past this. He's right at this Bateman line, so he might be a roundish ahead on them. So that might be a little bit of a 1 day reach. A 1 round reach ish or so. But I don't hate that stuff, especially when you're drafting on the ends like this. Like if you want a certain player, you know you have to take them sometimes. It really depends on the tournament and the player's kit for this. What is my day 1 for the WSOP? So slightly undecided. I'm flying out Tuesday morning. I'm leaving here at 7:30, which means I'll be in Vegas by 10:30 a.m. because of the time change. 99.9% sure there's no way in hell I play Tuesday. It just doesn't make sense to get off a plane and play the tournament. I'd have to really be jazzed up and ready to go in order for that to happen. My game plan is to play Wednesday. I'll talk a little more about this after this 2 picks that we have coming up. All right, I know what I want to do here. I know what I want to do. All right, so we're going to grab Russ. Actually, we're going to start by grabbing Dolcic. We know that the 12 hole just double tapped QB with their last 2 picks. So I don't really see them taking another QB. So we're going to grab Dolcic, and then we're going to grab Russ Wilson. We're going to set up a Denver stack here. So we got our Denver stack, what we were looking to do in that spot. You can survive that kit. You can survive taking the 0 at the QB spot. It's not a killer. Let me finish up talking about the WSOP. So I'm flying out Tuesday. Probably will not be playing Tuesday. Seems like that would be crazy to even attempt to do. I would like to play Wednesday. I plan on buying into the main event, and that's the tournament I'm playing. I'm playing the WSOP main event. I plan on buying in sometime in the 3rd level, whichever day I buy in. I don't want to play from the beginning. I don't like playing any poker tournaments from the 1st level. Just never have. It's not for me. I prefer buying in a little bit late. So Wednesday around 3rd level is what I would like to do. However, personally, if we want to get personal here, I get migraines sometimes, and flying to Vegas has brought on migraines a few times. I think it might be climate change or something. So I might have to not play until Thursday if that happens. Just relax and regroup and play Thursday. But Wednesday is what I would like to do. I would like to play Wednesday. 2 spot is living a little. We will gander at this 2 spot team in a second. Yeah, they are definitely living a little. Good luck in Vegas. Better not retire from Spike Week if you win. Maybe. If I win the WSOP. The promise I will make is that I will finish out this draft season no matter what. Might take a vacation or 2 if I were to win. But yeah, we will finish out this draft season no matter what. So the 2 hole went Cooper Kupp, Chris Olave, Ramondre Stevenson. They're the ones who grabbed Herbert at the 4th, and they go Cam Akers, Jordan Addison, Quentin Johnson, Samaje Perine, Romeo Doubs, Jalen Warren, Matt Stafford, Gerald Everett, Sam Howell in the 13th. So Oh my, what is happening with quarterbacks right now? We're grabbing Derek Carr, Kenny Pickett, Kyler Murray in the 13th. I mean, I'm glad we grabbed Russ when we did, apparently, because Pickett was the backup option for me here. We're going off the rails a little bit, guys. Just a tad off the rails. All right, we're waiting for Cluckett to make their selection. They grab Singletary. I'm going to grab DPJ now. I know T-Mac was setting up some Cleveland stuff, and I just don't want a spite grab by him. DPJ was the plan to grab with Watson here. I would have liked to have gone Tank Bigsby, then DPJ. That was kind of the game plan if I could have done it that way, but alas, we didn't. We'll survive. We'll grab MVS for our 7th wide receiver. And then we're going to have to probably make it up at running back. But yes, that 2-hole is living a little. Everyone's kind of living a little. We're grabbing quarterbacks in the 13th round that you probably don't need to yet. Yeah, DK, you can see the quarterbacks fly off the board. What is happening right now? See DJ Chark go after us. How are you guys doing with your... Why do I have this still up? Sorry. How are you guys doing with your achievements or whatever they're called for the DK best ball stuff? I think I've maxed all of them out already, except for there's like a different tiers of the fresh meat one for drafting rookies. I think my next level is like I have to draft like 500 rookies in best ball drafts. I'm at like 270 or something like that, but I've knocked out all the other achievements now after I enraged everybody by my last positional one being the Ravens quarterback by not drafting Lamar very unintentionally. It was a shock to me, but we have rectified that since then. We now have Lamar teams in DK as well. All right, Snake, let's see what you've done here. You started Tyreek Hill, Saquon Barkley, T. Higgins, Joe Burrow, Justin Fields, Chris Godwin, Treylon Burks, David Montgomery, Rashad Bateman, Jameson Williams, Jerick McKinnon, Damian Harris, Cole Kmet, Darnell Mooney. Very, very fun team here. I do like this team. Get your Chiefs bring back with McKinnon. You get your stack with Fields. You have some fun wide receivers. Team makes sense. Kudos to this team so far. Do like it. Yeah, getting ready for Vegas is a lot. Got a lot to do after this stream. Laundry, packing. Dropping pets off tomorrow, specific places. All good times when you travel. Right, Gotham? Gotham is very into this draft. Everybody wants to see how excited he is. There he is. Overly excited. Look at that. All right, we are up in one pick. We probably need some running backs here, is what I would say. Let's grab Chuba. B. Kurt is in the chat. What's up? I started looking at your stuff, by the way, B. Kurt, last night. I haven't had a chance to write you. I apologize. This is a very wild weekend for me. Very, very wild weekend. Gonna grab Gus Edwards here as well. Grab another running back. B. Kurt doesn't have achievements for quarterback for Cleveland and Carolina. Oh, you can make those happen. Tight end, Cleveland, Jacksonville, Miami, Seattle. You should be. I mean, the Miami tight end, I get. But you can fire up a $3 20 max and be like, I'm making a Deshaun Watson team, or I'm making a Bryce Young stack here. Most of these you can make work in a regular draft without forcing it. Hell, we're doing a Cleveland stack right now. Do we love it? No. I don't love doing Cleveland stacks. Everyone knows I love elite quarterbacks, specifically on DK, specifically on both sides. I'm just firing elite quarterbacks. I understand why you guys, or like why people don't like the elite quarterback prices and stuff like that, but I don't like the CD Lamb price. How about that? And I still draft them. So, you know, it is what it is. Is what it is. Yeah, the Miami tight end. I mean, why don't you want to take, not you specifically, B. Kurt, why wouldn't you want to just take like Smythe on like one or two of your Tua teams? Especially on DK, 20th round. Might as well fire him here or there. Feels fine. 20th round, almost everything feels fine. What do we have for a build right now? We are sitting on a 2-5-7-2 build. What is our team? Let's go over it. We have Garrett Wilson, Nick Chubb, Mark Andrews, Jerry Jeudy, Brandon Ayuk, Deontay Johnson, Deshaun Watson, Gabe Davis, Zach Charbonnet, Brian Robinson, Greg Dulcich, Russell Wilson, Donovan Peoples-Jones, MVS, Chuba Hubbard, Gus Edwards. So this is we don't need another quarterback. We don't need another tight end. So we can fire running back, wide receiver as much as we want. We're pretty strong at wide receiver. So what does that tell us? What does it tell us? It tells us so many things. Also, I have my phone in my pocket, and DraftKings decided to just send me all my notifications that I was on the clock at the same time, and it was what was going on that just like blew my mind, that my phone just was like blowing up. So good times. We will only be doing one draft today. Again, I just have things I need to get done. So we'll just be firing the one DK. What are our playoff correlations right now? So we have a Jets Cleveland correlation with Deshaun, Nick Chubb, Donovan Peoples-Jones, and Garrett Wilson. We have this San Fran Washington with Brian Robinson, Brandon Ayuk, and Pitt Seattle with Zach Charbonnet, Deontay Johnson right now. So fun little week 17 correlations there. We are coming back on the clock here in a second. All right. We are going to grab Leonard Fournette. And then I'm going to grab the running back that I think should be getting drafted a little earlier than he has been recently. We see Deuce Vaughn go in the 17th round. Just interesting. All right, come on, T-Mac. T-Mac grabs Clyde Edwards-Helaire. We are going to just go ahead and grab him now. We're going to grab Zamir White. If you're not drafting Zamir, and look, I'm not a Raiders guy at all this year. I think that offense is going to be horrible. Yes, I'll make sure to do that. I've seen some of that. What the hell are you doing if you're not drafting Zamir White right now? This is the time to draft him. If you're going to draft Zamir White, you're drafting him now. You can get him in the 18th, 19th, 20th rounds of DK drafts. You can get him in the 18th round of every underdog draft. Josh Jacobs might not be there week one, is what they're saying. Zamir White might be getting extended run as the starter. As this situation progresses, people are going to be driving him up the draft boards. If you want to draft Zamir White, do it now. That is my one piece of advice today. Not even a Raiders guy. Don't want to draft Raiders. I think the Raiders are going to suck. They're going to be terrible. But when you can get a potential 18th round, 19th round starting running back on your team, especially when you're like us, who we did anchor with Nick Chubb, but didn't grab another running back until the 9th round. Just volume alone with Zamir White might be enough to sneak into our lineup quite a few weeks if he ends up being the starter. And as this situation drags on, you're going to see it. You're going to see a lot more of the Zamir White hype coming. Get ahead of it. There's your tip for today. Always try to get ahead of the hype. The other guy you could be doing it with, this is a much different scenario, and I'm not doing it because I just don't personally believe in him for this season. But if you do believe in him, you should be drafting Dalvin Cook right now, because he's probably moving up based on where he signs on round maybe 2, potentially 3. There's like very few landing slots that happens, but there's not going to be many spots that his ADP drops after he signs. So Hopkins is probably weirdly priced right where he's supposed to be. He might move up a little bit, but the guy that you should really be drafting right now, even if you don't like the Raiders like myself, you hold your nose, you take Zamir White, and even if he doesn't end up starting, he's still probably the contingent value to Josh Jacobs, who might halfway through the season go, oh, you know what? Ankle doesn't feel right. Need to sit down for a little bit. Got to make sure I get paid next year. So just be ready for that. I think Zamir White is probably the best late round pick there is at the moment, specifically at running back, but potentially across all positions. So there's my Zamir White rant for the day. If I leave you with nothing, I left you with a Zamir White rant. All right, what do we got for a build? A 2772, you say? Well. So we have that giant quarterback run, but we still have Brock Purdy and Mac Jones on the board. I mean, I'm going to say fuck it, and I'm going to grab a third quarterback on this team, even though I didn't plan on it. If you want to give me 19th round Brock Purdy, I'll take a third quarterback on a Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson team where I have Brandon Ayuk. Thanks, I guess. We'll do it. And we'll be okay with it. And I'm going to take Josh Downs as well to round this team out, and we'll go over it in a second. B. Kurt says that he got Zamir in round 20 on a 0 RB this morning. I love the take. I've been grabbing him 19, 20th round too. We probably could have pushed him another round here. I'm actually glad I grabbed him where I did. I really like grabbing late 19th round Brock Purdy on a team that I didn't plan to go 3 QBs on, but like, I don't know how I don't take Brock Purdy here. Like, how do you not? So we did it. We're fine with it. We'll take it. Right. And let's go over our team. We have Deshaun Watson, Nick Chubb, Zach Charbonnet, Garrett Wilson, Jerry Jeudy, Brandon Ayuk, Mark Andrews, Deontay Johnson, Gabe Davis, Brian Robinson, Greg Dulcich, Russell Wilson, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Marquez Valdez Scantling, Chuba Hubbard, Gus Edwards, Leonard Fournette, Zamir White, Brock Purdy, and Josh Downs. Let's just kind of look at our playoff correlation stuff that we have. So we have a Jets-Cleveland stack with Watson, Chubb, Donovan Peoples-Jones, and the bring back of Garrett Wilson. We have a San Fran-Washington one with Brock Purdy, Brandon Ayuk, with Brian Robinson coming back. We have a Pitt-Seattle one with Zach Charbonnet, Deontay Johnson, and a Vegas-Indy one with Zamir White and Josh Downs that we grabbed with 2 of our last 3 picks. So all in all, I think this is a pretty fun team. It is a 3-7-8-2 build, which was not the plan, but you know, you kind of take what the draft gives you sometimes. And a falling Brock Purdy is something that we were going to do here. So fine with a 3 quarterback build with Deshaun Watson. I don't think you have to limit him to 2. I try to occasionally, but situationally, we're going to be fine with it sometimes. All right, guys, that is going to do it for me. We will see you. I'm not really sure what the schedule is this week. We do have the holiday. I know Eric is doing an afternoon draft tomorrow for the weekly stuff. So he might see you, it's at like 12 or 1 o'clock, something like that, Eastern. So look for that. Let me pull this off. I don't know if we're going to be doing a Monday night show tomorrow, but if I don't see you guys before I leave for Vegas, crush your teams while I'm gone, and I'll see you when I get back. All right, everybody. Peace. Woo! Those were some spicy takes. Want to stay up to date with all of the other spicy takes we're going to have over here at Spike Week? Why don't you press that subscribe button below? You turn notifications on. We draft a team. Boom. You know about it. We have another spicy take. Boom. You know about it. You can be there. You can draft with us. You want to stay up to date? That's how you do it. All right. We'll catch you later next time here at Spike Week.